It's one of the primary arteries of the peninsula, and certain stretches are downright dangerous. A San Mateo County leader is calling for the state to step in and take action on El Camino Real. It's the result of our investigation. Supervisor David Canepa is responding to pedestrian dangers. Here's investigative reporter Candice Nguyen.
I would not have my son, I wouldn't have my staff walk across the street. This is not right.
Crossing 6 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, this is it's not very good.
Cars coming from both ways, 3 lanes on each side.
I feel like we're in a freeway here with these 3 lanes. Watch out. See, the guy doesn't see you.
San Mateo County Supervisor David Canepa reached out to us saying he wanted to tour El Camino Real in and along Atherton as a pedestrian.
This is wild.
What's wild about it?
It's just, I mean, look at the cars, look at the speed. If someone got out of that bus right there, they're walking right into traffic. And at nighttime, dusk, that's dangerous. Look, it took NBC News. It took your reporting, Candice.
Canepa just watched our report on Atherton's disproportionately high pedestrian death rate on this no sidewalk, far fewer streetlights part of El Camino that Caltrans oversees. We told you earlier about the 4 most recent pedestrian deaths on this stretch. 2 of the victims were elderly with dementia.
We as policymakers have to protect everyone, especially older Americans. And right now, we're failing.
After we started asking questions, Atherton police say an officer volunteered to lead a traffic operation. The department partnered with the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office, which tells us they also received pedestrian safety complaints after our report. Out here with Canepa, we witnessed multiple traffic stops.
What do you think it's going to take to prevent another pedestrian death on this stretch?
There's only one thing, and that is the infrastructure to protect pedestrians. And so walkways that work, protected bike lanes. There may have to be a road diet here. We have 3 lanes.
That might get a lot of pushback because there's a lot of people who live here who want to maintain the rural charm.
The 6-lane road, is that how you maintain rural charm? I want to work with Caltrans. We've issued a letter, and that letter is to Tony Tavares, the director of Caltrans in the state of California. And it's clearly this. You hear it in the background. You just heard it. This is what I'm talking about.
This is the letter Canepa wrote to Caltrans' director, urging the State Department of Transportation to prioritize a pedestrian project that recently failed to win a $3 million regional grant. The Safe Route to Schools project would have upgraded the bustling state route, where most of the 730 students attending Adelante Selby Spanish School are required to cross El Camino Real without any traffic controlling lights, only this painted crosswalk.
Is there even enough money for this whole stretch?
These things take time. We got to look at exceptions.
The investigative unit asked Caltrans' director, Tony Tavares, to talk with us about our reporting and Canepa's letter, but he declined. In a statement, Caltrans said it's now exploring additional funding options that may exist for pedestrian and bicyclist safety improvements on El Camino from Selby Lane to Brewster Avenue. It supported the Selby project, but says MTC ultimately denied that funding application. In addition to being county supervisor, Canepa is also an MTC commissioner.
We need to take action. We need to hold people accountable like Caltrans and myself.
There have been projects to add pedestrian infrastructure along El Camino Real. From Daly City to San Jose, the Grand Boulevard initiative, the Selby project for schools, and yet you're not seeing the impacts now. Why is that?
Look, I've dealt with these. I know in my district, $2 million for safe routes to schools. The need is so great. We're not just talking about here, but we're talking about regionally. That's no excuse.
We're learning why Atherton's grant application for the Selby project wasn't as competitive. Projects with housing are prioritized, and that's something Atherton has yet to establish for its stretch of El Camino Real, according to MTC. With the investigative unit, I'm Candice Nguyen, NBC Bay Area News.